Thank you very much for staying with TV3. This is news at 10 and we are airborne to some other stories. Now, the timely intervention of the Ghana National Fire Service has prevented a major fire outbreak at the Ghana Highway Authority on Saturday evening. The fire, which started at about 6 p.m., destroyed some computers, ABS systems and servers at the server room of the authority. The fire service says it has commenced investigations into the fire. The head of public relations of the Ghana Highway Authority spoke to Komla Kluche.
What the fire service has been able to do is to put out the fire completely. The pictures you can see on your screen is the server room. That's where the fire started from. This is on the floor of the Ghana Highway Authority. Now, the report you had early on did indicate that the fire did start from the Architectural and Engineering Services Limited. The pictures you can watch is from the server room. This is what got engulfed in fire. Now what they are doing is salvaging, but there's still power, even though the whole building, the whole structure has been put off from the mains. There's still power within which they are trying to see where the source is actually from and what is actually they would be doing about it. Let me speak to Diana Asiedu, who is the head of public affairs of the Ghana Highway Authority. Diana, what do you know is the cause of the fire, or at what point in time did the fire start? What do you know?
Well, we had a call from the security that says the building is on fire. So we all rushed here and we realized that our server room is on fire, including one of the offices of the evaluation unit was on fire. And thank God to the fire service, they responded with dispatch, and I think they've put everything under control.
But for now, it would be a bit premature, you would agree, to state the extent of damage. But for you, from the side of the AESL, do you know the extent of damage at that side? We haven't been able to get there.
Well, what the fire service said when they realized the smoke was rather noticed at the AESL by their security, but they realized that it was rather coming from our server when the National Fire Service got here. We've seen our damages, you have the pictures, but we don't know the extent until tomorrow morning.
It is under control now. It's only salvaging that they are doing as it stands now. The extent of damage, it is premature, they say, for them to state.
That's TV3's Komla Kluche. Now, a very disturbing story we have been following for you. The rising cesarean operation in the country has been attributed to delayed childbirth. An obstetrician gynecologist at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Samuel Opong, links delayed childbirth to complications and expressed fears women who delay the decision for the cesarean operation threaten their own lives. TV3's Asiedu-Dartey has more.
Cesarean operation, or CS, is a surgical delivery of a baby that involves making incisions in a pregnant woman's abdominal wall and uterus. The process usually takes about 45 to 60 minutes compared to the vaginal birth, which could take 2 or more days. A CS is sometimes scheduled in advance or done in response to an unforeseen complications. This mode of childbirth is rising in the country, raising concerns amongst Ghanaians. The maternity block of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital records about 90 cesarean operations daily. An obstetrician gynecologist at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Samuel Opong, attributes the increasing rate of CS to a number of reasons. Delayed childbirth, Dr. Opong noted, was prominent among them.
More women are delaying childbirth because of education, because of acquiring profession, because of women wanting to get established in their profession or in their career, for which reason they are delaying childbirth. And as women delay childbirth, they may end up with more complications at the time of their pregnancy and delivery, for which reason they will require cesarean section.
Though he indicated there was an increasing rate of cesarean section, the myth surrounding CS is still a challenge for health professionals, as most women who urgently need the operation do not realize the danger associated with it.
A dire situation that the woman's life is online, you still need to wait for them to give consent before you go ahead to perform the procedure. There are instances we need to bring in the woman's spouse or other relatives to come and talk to her. And sometimes we may even bring in pastors.
For this woman who refused to show her face, she would have opted for a CS during her first pregnancy, looking at the complications she went through.
I was in labor for 2 days. I was induced. Then after a while, I heard that the baby's heartbeat was no longer there. That I had to do an emergency CS to bring out the dead child. And I was now wondering that why did they allow me go through the 2 days if I can actually have a CS and still be okay.
With the growing concerns about the rate of cesarean operation in the country, perhaps one thing we must take into consideration is CS comes in as an intervention and for specific reasons to save mother and child. AC Benewanyami TV3, Accra.
Chilling report. All right. So let's take a step back to our earlier story having to do with Ghanaians living outside the country, how they can relate better to the homeland or the motherland, and then also their contributions they are bringing in. So statistics we have indicate that there are about 1.7 million Ghanaians living abroad. That's according to the World Bank statistics that was released for 2016. And it says that they've been remitting nearly $3 billion to the country every year. And this is the biggest single foreign exchange earner for Ghana. And that is quite significant looking at the total number of Ghanaians living outside and the amount of money that they bring in into the country. So we go to Skype now to speak to Aula Sewa. She is a Ghanaian living outside the country in the diaspora. She is also part of the Concerned Ghanaians and a Pan-Africanist at home and in the diaspora. She's joined us via Skype for a few thoughts on this particular development. Madam, good evening and thank you very much for joining us.
Good evening.
To start with, a diaspora summit was held recently in Ghana. There are those asking about the relevance of it. We know there are Ghanaians out there, they have relatives here. How relevant is it to organize a summit which seeks to bring together or to acknowledge the fact that we have Ghanaians like yourself outside who are helping build our country?
It's very, very important. I mean, you yourselves have talked about the amount of money that diasporians outside, are contributing. And as you know, it's not just about the money. It's about sharing ideas and skills and working together to build Ghana. So I think it's extremely important that we work together because we all want a better Ghana.
And what has to be done to leverage on the investment of Ghanaians in the diaspora to promote development?
I think the government needs to be proactive in setting out what it actually needs, what it would like the diaspora to do. Because when the information is out and the list of areas where would like contributions from the diaspora is made easily accessible, then Ghanaians outside can say that this is where I can go, this is where I can help, and so on and so forth. So I think what we need to do is to have some robust efforts in coming out with what exactly Ghana needs to make it easier for those outside to help where they can.
There are concerns from Ghanaians like yourself outside who have raised complaints about their lack of assistance from Ghana's missions abroad. How credible are some of these reports? And I don't know whether you have an experience to share.
Well, I mean, everybody has a different experience. I have to say that so far, our experience has been positive. We have had events at the High Commission. Recently, we went to the High Commission to present a letter about the illegal mining. I have to say that we were well received. But I do know that a couple of years ago, the High Commission had a listening exercise where diasporians were supposed to, talk about issues that were of importance to them. We had the exercise, but unfortunately, I don't think it was followed up because we're never called for the feedback. So I think that we just need the missions to be more proactive in having the dialogue with Ghanaians in the diaspora. We just need to be more proactive.
Okay. We'll have to leave it here for now. Thank you so much for making time to talk. At least, let me give you the assurance that the current minister, Madam Shelley Ayoko-Boche, has said that sanctions will be meted out to Ghanaians who misbehave in the various missions abroad. So maybe that should come as a promise from government to you. I hope that can give you some level of confidence in the system.
Well, I mean, we'll continue making contacts with the High Commission and embassies, and we hope that we'll have that level of positive exchange. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and thank you for speaking to us. Madam Awula Sewa is a part of the concerned Ghanaians living abroad and also a Pan-Africanist, both home and abroad, sharing her thoughts on our story for you tonight. Let's shift our attention to some entertainment news just before we bounce out. A week after TV3 explored how legendary comedian Super Odi is surviving after a sterling career, Member of Parliament for Agona East, Queen Star Pokua Sawyer, has reached out to the veteran actor. Here is a report by Owusu.
The aging comedian Super Odi tussled to walk on his own. He relied on the support of his family to move around. Touched by TV3's report, the MP donated an electric wheelchair to the 82-year-old actor whose knees have grown weaker. The motorized wheelchair comes in handy for distances which would be fatiguing in the absence of a wheelchair. Groceries and an amount of 1,000 cedis were also presented to the family to support his upkeep. The legendary comedian was thankful for the support.
I've been able to bring the electric wheelchair, which is really, I'm sure, he's happy. So it will put smiles on his face, at least for the rest of his life. I loved watching Super Odi because he would say something and he would put a smile on your face. And it's good for a human being to be laughing. It's healthy.
The MP for Agona East, Queen Star Pokua Sawyer, was grateful to TV3 for motivating the gesture.
I'll give the credit to God and then secondly to TV3 because I watched it on TV3 and honestly I was moved because I've known Super Odi and I've been watching him since I was young. So I went like, wow, what is happening?
She again pledged to send money at the end of every month to cater for his needs.
I believe that everything we inherit here is supposed to be spent here. When you are going, there's nothing you are going to do with your cars and your houses. So I believe that if I have now, to whom much is given, much is expected. I have to be able to put smiles on the faces of people like that.
Indeed, TV get results.
I'm very excited about that story, and TV does truly get results. That's it for the bulletin. A big thank you to the Member of Parliament as well for taking action. Enjoy the rest of your evening. My name is Martin Asiedu-Dartey. There's more news on our website, 3news.com. This bulletin was also live on 3FM 92.7. Bye-bye for now.